Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. Woohoo! Party! It is Thursday. It's Happy Turkey Day for all our American brethren. Official holiday, I think, is today. And it is Thursday. Looks like we're live on YouTube, so that's encouraging. It is a holiday. Actually, we're really fortunate. Kevin even popped on his laptop here today, helping me out. Thank you very much. Good morning, Kevin.
Hey, good morning.
Cool. I guess he's right in the middle of gnawing on a turkey bone. Anyway, and of course, because it's Thursday, and I'm sure he feels a little Thanksgiving somewhere deep in his heart, being an American after all. We've got Julian on the call. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
Awesome.
Got my TRI shirt on, ready to go. Lots to talk about today.
Yeah, I know.
Bitcoin made a big turn in the past week.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff to discuss today, no doubt about it.
We got to talk about the BitBite competition, of course. Can't leave that out.
Yep. I could probably do a little overview of that once you're sort of done your presentation. But if you feel like making comments or whatever about it, feel free. And as well just an FYI for people, Colin has asked if he could come on the call, and so he'll be on deck for tomorrow. Is that correct, Colin? I don't know. I think Colin's on the call here. I don't know if he has a microphone.
Yeah, I'm on for tomorrow.
Awesome. Wow, man. We got action-packed episodes. Every day of the week, we almost got somebody coming in and contributing. So super stoked for the daily brief here. And Colin, you're also in that BitBite competition too. So we've got a whole bunch of people in there. So we should probably give sort of an update. And if anything, I actually think it would be a good idea if everybody who was in the competition, we have that TRI room, if we could throw together like a hangout or something. Bybit. What am I saying? BitBite? I'm not even close, am I?
Oh, I think I said BitBite. I messed it up. So it's Bybit.
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 So we got lots to talk about. I don't know where we ought to start today. Julian, where do you think we should start?
Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, we could talk about Bitcoin. We could talk about crypto, or we could talk about the stock market.
Or I do
the stock market just won't stop going up, and I hate it.
Yeah, I do like the format of your presentation. So I don't think that necessarily needs to change. I guess what I'm just asking is, do we want to jump into Bybit conversations and what we see happening in crypto?
Well, why don't you talk about that to start? Why don't you just explain what's going on and stuff?
Sure. So Fred, I don't know. I guess Fred's not on the call here this morning. He actually reached out to me about 2 or 3 days ago, and just to show you sort of screens and stuff. These guys here, Bybit, and actually, if I'm not mistaken now, but it was a long way up in the launch, but actually maybe in the, anyway, this is the site. They do have a trading competition. I don't know if there is a way to get to their sort of homepage. I thought this was it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, yeah, so BTC Brothers, are you ready? One of our site members happened to see this, Fred, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago. Just a few days ago, he was like, they're doing like a competition, and it would be kind of fun to have a TRI team involved. So on the site, we have had people suggest we do trading competitions and enter competitions in the past. Never really got any traction out of that. I mean, it's here nor there. Point is, all I did was I just recycled that old trading room that we had set up for that competition. Just called it trading competition, whatever. Fred sort of put out the roll call saying, hey, you know what, let's, can we put a group together? I was actually pretty pleased to see that, about halfway through the day yesterday, he was sort of sitting going, guys, we're about half full. We need some people to step up. And the TRI team stepped up big time. All three of us joined. So Stuart, Julian, and I are all competing head-to-head. But hopefully we're all on the same team here and we're working together. But I got a funny feeling this is going to degenerate into, hey, I'm a better trader than you are. But we'll see what happens. And I'm not quite sure how I show the teams. But I was pleased to see that... I don't know. Do you guys? Somebody. There is a team link that somebody was sharing. I don't see it right here, just off the top of my head. But anyway, if somebody could post that, then I could show you the team. I don't have that just here now. I don't know where it's gone. Colin. All right, Colin came through big time. Look at that. How quickly. So let's see what he's got here. Copy link. This better not be porn. Just kidding. Actually, maybe that's what that is. But let's go paste and go. All right, there it is. So actually, we had quite a few people all pile in here. So we've got actually a team of about 13 people. And their minimum deposit was 0.05 BTC. So that was kind of a problem. I think that's maybe one reason why people weren't too jazzed. But nonetheless, we're here. We're in. As you can see, I've given myself the name of my favorite Latin American lover, Ricardo Montalban, and his Corinthian leather. So that's me on the team list if you happen to see that. Just a joke. But anyway, kind of fun. So it's up and running. And like I said, I think it would be a really good idea if we could maybe have a nice team meeting. And just review what it is we're actually supposed to be doing here. Because frankly,
okay, go ahead. Why don't you explain and then I'll jump in.
I don't know. I mean, all I was told was, can you please join the team? So are we competing against each other, or are we working together and we pool our capital? I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
So it's just trade as an individual and do the best you can individually. The top 10 people from our team, it will take the cumulative percentage and add it together and say, okay, that's your average percentage for the entire team. And then the teams with the highest percentage get a reward. So you just need to trade the best you can yourself. You're not competing against the people in our team. You're competing, I guess you're competing against everyone. Because there's individual and then there's team. So you want to try to do well individually, but also if you do well individually, you will do well for the team. Does that make sense?
Sort of, but basically what the capital that I put in here is if I blow this up, that capital's gone, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
All right. So, I guess the way that I would look at this is what's my incentive? And I don't even really know.
The incentive is like, if you do well, you win a bunch of BTC. So, you keep that yourself.
All right. So, like I said, this isn't probably the best conversation to be having in a daily brief. This is I think it would be in the team's best interest to have a meeting and try and sort of come up with a plan, right? If we're a team, how do we approach this as a team? Anyway, that's here nor there. I'm worried that these kind of competitions, somebody will just throw on 100x maximum leverage, at a and they could very easily lose this capital, and that's your money that's gone. And that's, in essence, what that means is to enter this competition, it costs $350 or $375, about what that Bitcoin balance was. So that's pretty steep price for admission, with the potential that money could just disappear. So go carefully, everybody. And like I said, probably a good idea to come up with a trading plan. And track and log. And what I sort of wrote in my sort of contribution to this you can use my template as a spreadsheet if you'd like. I mean, I don't mind sharing it. But I just got to find it here now. I've put together a very simple spreadsheet, if I can find it. I don't know where the hell I put it. Oh, here it is. Like, I got the impression that this was like a team competition, so we were going to be working together. But I put together a trading plan. And basically this is everything that I teach on the site. I don't know whether am I showing that on YouTube? So I personally, and this is why I need a team meeting, I don't know when this competition actually runs to and what are the parameters. We've created that room, so I'll throw that link in there. We've got the link to the website, and as I've said sort of here, my participation in this is just going to be simply to demonstrate best practices and to have fun with our community. So I still am in the process of vetting this trading plan out. I'm not exactly sure what setup I actually want to trade here. So like if this competition ends at the in 1 week, I'm gonna miss a big chunk of this as I sort of figure out what it is I want to do here. I will.
It ends in 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right. So I will basically I've put together a spreadsheet just very exactly the same as like I was doing vetting this trading setup out. So I'll be running this in the background, and like I said, I would highly recommend everybody competing in the competition to do the same. And really, what I really want to see, and frankly speaking, I mean, it kind of sucks. Basically, what I'm hearing is we could very easily just lose our $375 that it costs to enter the contest. But it is what it is. But
why would you think that you're going to lose it, though?
Well, I mean, this is crypto. the fucking
you'll
site
only
could
lose
be
it
hacked,
if
right?
you blow it up. So
well, and then also too, let's say you put on a leverage trade and they skip your stop, and the market runs a couple $1,000 and bye account. So there's a number of different things that could go wrong here, and I mean, I hear what you're saying, and really it's up to you individually if you lose your money or not. But in a weird sort of way, that's it's an interesting what's the term I'm looking for? It's something that's running around in my head. I'm just sort of trying to wrap my head around it. That's all. Just leave it at that. Anyway, I just wanted to simply show that I'm in the process of building my trading plan out. What kind of risk can I take on this 0.05 BTC? What kind of, if you're taking the course, you know exactly what this trading plan should look like. So that's sort of where I am right now with regard to this. To fill this out, I actually started a whole new page. And this is what I've done is I've just simply broken down daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, and 15 minute. And sort of my approach is going to be, I want to, since this is a trading competition, we're probably operating off a lower time frame. So I'm going to use daily levels as my targets, and then I'm going to use the 4 hour, 1 hour as the bias to set up trades. And you can see I have bullish bot setups here all outlined, and then on the 15-minute I'm going to drill down and actually hunt for trade levels. So that's sort of my angle on all of this. It'll be an interesting competition. I would love to see the people that are in the competition try and do those demonstration of best practices. In that, fill out your plan, show your log, identify what it is that's going to get you to act, that kind of thing. From my perspective, I really like that thinking. So really good exercise for us to exercise best practices, the process, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what more I can add to the conversation about the competition. at this point, it is underway, and I'm probably not. I mean, I was debating getting in on a level. I mean, I can talk levels, but I would prefer just to maybe leave level conversation for Julian here today and his perspective. I don't want to, cloud his message here today. But I'll be posting these 15-minute charts because I think, if there's going to be levels, I'll identify them off of the higher time frames. And then if there are actual trades that I'm going to enter, I'll probably do it off of this 15-minute chart. So that's where I'm sitting with this. And like I said, what I really want to do is just demonstrate best practices. The only other thing I'll say here, because today is a holiday, obviously U.S. markets are closed. A lot of our sort of, everybody's enjoying Macy's Day Thanksgiving parades, turkey with the family, traveling, football games on TV. People really are not that interested in the market in North America today. So we're not seeing a heck of a lot of movement. You can see the yen, gold just parked, stock futures are parked, oil's parked, and Bitcoin's doing its thing. Okay, so, I mean, if there's something you want to add to the competition, feel free, Julian. I just wanted to give you my perspective and what I'm thinking right now. And we can turn things over to you, and let's see what's on your mind today.
Okay, so in regards to the Bybit competition, I think it's pretty straightforward from my perspective. It's just, you just trade your setup that you use for trading Bitcoin on leverage. Everyone who's been on TRI for a while should have a general setup for leverage trading. Especially I think the people that have signed up to this competition. So I would just do the best you can. For me personally, normally I trade on only daily and 4 hour, and my trades, I'll just sit in a trade for, like, I just closed, for example, I'll get into it in a minute, but guys, just so you know, I recently closed my Bitcoin short. I've been short since 10,000, and I finally closed it at about, I think it was 7,000, around the 7,000 area. And now I feel like Bitcoin's kind of in no man's land for me. Unfortunately, this competition started right while Bitcoin's in the middle of a possible trend change for me from short to long. So I'm kind of waiting on the sidelines, but what I'm doing for my setup is I'm just taking the time frame I'm just going to a lower time frame. Normally, like I said, I do daily and 4 hour, and I'm going to try to go to daily 4 hour and like 15 to 1 minute charts. Nothing below 5 minutes. That's just crazy gambling. But I think that everyone who's in the competition just needs to do the best they can and trade as if they're trading individually on a real account. It is a real account, that's what I suggest doing. I don't think it needs to get any more complicated than that. So that's kind of my viewpoint on it. I haven't taken any trades yet, but it looks like we do have one person who's up 3.5%, and Sjorn's up 0.25%. So woohoo, Sjorn. I'm not sure who this is. I would be careful if I was you. Don't, maybe take a step back for a day. But this competition is only 2 weeks. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to trade a little bit more rapidly than normal if you want to keep up. I mean, I was looking at the other teams, and it's pretty crazy, like the team levels already. I would say it would be good if you're even in the top like 50. If we were as a team averaging like 5%, that would be amazing. So we'll see what happens. Oh, look, MM Crypto, that's interesting. That's interesting. 61 people, holy cow. But, if you have a lot of people, it is kind of like swayed to your favor, actually, because in the rules, it says they only take the top 10 people, and everyone below the top 10 in the team is excluded. So if you have 1,000 people like these guys do, only the top 10 people matter. Like, look at how these two teams have 500 people. It's kind of like it's just random chance, basically, which is kind of nonsense to me. So that's the only thing I don't like about this competition, is that from my understanding, they're only taking the top 10 scorers from the team, and they're taking their average profit and loss. So, you could just have like a bunch of accounts, and you could go max leverage long, max leverage short on every single trade, and just have the winning ones come out. I mean, we'll see how this develops over the next 2 weeks. That's just one thing I don't really like when I read through the rules. So we'll see, but it's pretty cool. I've never done one of these. I just wanted to give my input on it. We're already 25 minutes in, so let me jump into my thoughts on the market. As far as the S&P, I'm kind of pissed off with it. I really hate when it goes on these huge bull runs and I'm not long in anything, which I'm not. And again, like I talked about last week, it's just like, from my perspective, this is all Fed injecting money into the market, Trump throwing a temper tantrum, lowering interest rates, all that crap is kind of what's driving this rally. Yes, from my understanding, the American economy is doing well, but I don't think it's doing so well that we should be getting a crazy rally like this. So this is a function of Fed injecting money and lower interest rates yet again, pushing the market to new highs. I guess I should have seen this coming. I kind of want to look at the yield curve. Have we looked at that in a while? It's probably fine because they lowered interest rates. It was getting pretty bad before. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you can see how it was starting to invert like that, and then they lowered interest rates to bring that line down, but the top line came down too. So, even though they lowered the earlier bonds, the later bonds, the 30-year and the 20-year still came down as well. So eventually it's going to flatline again, and they're just going to have to keep lowering interest rates, and it's just going to keep repeating. I don't know. I think this, if you guys look at this chart from 2000 2019, this rally since 2008 is just ridiculous. And I don't know. It looks ridiculous to me. This is more so me venting than anything else, because in 2008, 2009, I literally just entered the workforce. I had no money to put in the market at all. I had like a little bit of savings I was starting with. So, but like a good part of this rally, like all the way up to basically 2014, I didn't have much money. And then after that, I was like, whoa, this is a crazy rally. How is this going to go higher? And then from 2015 to 2019, it went up, but like half the time my money was in safer accounts. It wasn't long the market, so I missed out on this last part of the rally because I didn't believe that it could go so high. So every time it makes new highs, I get annoyed. It's just like a reminder of what I'm missing out on, I guess. Okay, that was my rant. I try not to rant, but this one time I wanted to. So apologies for that. Anyway, okay, so S&P is bullish on the daily chart. I think everyone kind of knows that. But I think this second leg up is going to run out of steam soon. You can see how the histogram is not making a newer high like the market is. It's really small. My RSI OBV doesn't look as strong. RSI, surprisingly, is strong. It looks good to me. I'm not going to be shorting here, that's for sure. If we go to the 4-hour, yeah, RSI still looks good. But you can see if you were watching the RSI on the 4-hour, how it broke down here, this would have been a head fake for you. You would have thought, oh, the market's heading down. Oh, no, just kidding. And then it makes new highs again. So that's interesting, something interesting I want to point out. I thought I'd look at the options really quick. You can see this big call wall at 316 and 315, mostly 315. I think it's 315? No, 316. 316, we've got 45,000 calls. So that's the big call wall. It's not going to go over that going into Friday. I have a feeling we'll close between 315 and 316, probably closer to 315, maybe even 314, just to make sure those calls don't close in the money. That's kind of my opinion on the options and where we're going tomorrow. Tesla. I like to talk about Tesla every week. I think Tesla, did you guys see Tesla announce like a truck? There was some kind of truck announcement. Did anyone see that? Did you talk about that, Brian?
Yeah, we had lots of conversations about that. In fact, I think Seward has got a Lego version of the truck now.
I'm sure you showed pictures. This is so crazy, this truck.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't look like a truck. It's like what the heck? Like, what is this?
There it is.
It's like something out of like a movie, some kind of sci-fi thing. But I guess they did that on purpose, since it's powered by batteries. To me, it looks almost like dangerous. Like, could you imagine getting hit by this thing? Like, I would be afraid of this.
Yeah, if anything,
cool,
I think Barnum and Bailey's got a new tent for everybody to go visit.
I like the renders with the solar panels.
And that's it, right? Like somebody said, all it needs is a laser cannon on top of it.
Yeah, seriously. But I could imagine like super rich people in like Silicon Valley buying these and taking it camping like this. I could seriously see that happening, and it'll look exactly like this. Anyway, okay, so Tesla stock. You can see how it came right down to this level. If I draw my RSI from here to here to here, it came right down to this daily support level. And this is the pullback I was looking for, but I want to see a full breakdown. I want to see a rebound, maybe something like this, and then a full breakdown. I need to break through this line, and then I'm going to start hunting shorts. I might nibble a short up here. So you know what? Right now I'm going to set an alert. I'm going to set an alert at 350 so that I don't forget that I want to possibly get short Tesla. All right. Create the alert. Okay, so I got that alert created so I won't miss it. That's my thoughts on Tesla, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I still expect this gap to be filled, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think we've got a couple more days, maybe weeks to go. But you can see, look at my TD mark indicator. See the 9? See how it stopped on that 9? Look at that. I love that. It's so cool when that happens. And it does happen a lot. You can see back here. Here's a 9. Boom, stopped. Here's a 9. It only went up a little bit higher, and then look how it fell over, went back down. Here's a 9 on the sell side, and you can see how it kind of stopped and then reversed. It's fascinating. That's why I use it. It's a great indicator. It really is. So highly suggest it. Video on how to use it is in the library. I talk about it pretty much every week. I usually like to talk about Beyond Meat. I'm kind of getting bored of Beyond Meat, but I'll talk about it a little bit. As you guys know, I saw a Beyond Meat burger in Taiwan last week. By the way, Taiwan is really cool. I enjoyed it there. Great place to live if you want to raise a family. A little bit boring if you're single, I think, but not bad. Not bad. It's cool that literally everything's connected by trains. You don't have to you don't need a car at all. Like, you could go from one end of Taiwan to the other completely on train, and it's pretty cheap. I got a 3-day train pass for I think it was $60, and then I could go on basically any of the bullet trains. So that was cool. Okay, so I didn't end up trying the Beyond Meat burger though. I completely forgot. Wow, I really should have done that. Oh well. Well, let me know if anybody in here has tried one. I'm curious to hear about what it tastes like. I think I didn't get it because it was $1 or $2 more than the regular burger. And I was like, why am I going to pay more for an artificial burger? I think that's why I didn't do it. So, interesting thing about Beyond Meat is it broke out of this daily downtrend here on the daily, and we're getting starting to get a rise from the RSI and RSI OBV and histogram. Everything's looking really strong. It would make sense to me that we would come back to this 100 level here, right up here. Fill this. There's a gap here, so it would make sense to fill this gap. I kind of like the way it's looking. We got a nice little double bottom here. Here's the W. W. And it just hasn't confirmed. We got to get a confirmation, but then the price is probably going to shoot up. So I think for me, as far as a trade here, let me just delete all this. Wow, I got way too happy drawing things here. Delete. Delete you. Wow, why are there so many? I drew too much. Let's see, a potential trade idea. Let's see what our profit and loss would be here. Let's say I took it right here. And I set my stop right below the lows here. And I set my target just right here. What does my profit and loss look like? Okay, so my risk to reward is only 1.87. That's not good enough for me to consider a trade. I would need price to come back down to maybe here, this low area, and then I can raise my stop. Here's my profit target, and then I've got a risk to reward of 3. That's not amazing, but it's not bad. I would take a trade off that, but I would need Beyond Meat to come back down to like $78. So I'm gonna set an alert there too. I'm gonna set these alerts because I hate that I talk about these trades and then I don't actually end up taking them. I forget. What else did I want to talk about? Nope, I wouldn't wait for the confirmed W because my opinion on W confirmations is that whenever a W confirms, you get a big fat bar that goes like that, and then you've missed like 3/4 of the price action. So I always take the risk and I try to take trades with tight stops, and I will take the extra risk that it might fail because normally I try to look for risk to reward ratios of like 5-to-1. So then 5 of my trades can fail for every 1 that succeeds. And I've just found that works a lot better for me. Every time I wait for that W confirmation, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you get this giant bar. It's like, there's a bunch of algos that are like, oh my God, W. And they all buy, and you get that huge bar, and you don't get in until after that huge bar. I mean, maybe you'll get like a huge bar like this. Where you get this, and then you get like a bit of a retracement, and you can get in here. But it's you're still only getting half the profit that you would get if you got down here. So I know that's different from kind of. It's a different philosophy from how Brian likes to trade, but that's just my style, and it's what works better for me, and again this only works because I have tight stops. If you don't have tight stops, or you don't really use stops, then this isn't a good strategy. It's not going to work well, and I don't suggest it. But this is how I like to trade, and this works well for me. I more so go off RSI. Did my RSI break out of the downtrend line? Okay, if it broke out of the downtrend line, then I know there's a possible uptrend. Does it look like a W is forming? Okay. So when I have a couple of these signals all aligning, I'm like, okay, I've got a pretty good idea that this is going to turn around. Now, if, say we were down here, right here with this RSI like this, where it's still under this downtrend line, then I'm definitely not going to take any kind of trade. I'm not even going to consider it. But you can see how once we broke out here, look at how it started bottoming, and it created this bottom action. It lines up perfectly. I've seen this, hundreds of times now. So that's kind of how I approach trading, and that's what works well for my style. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Sorry, I feel like I'm ranting a bit today. I don't really know why, but hopefully it's useful information. Anything else on the stock market?
You drill down to a 4-hour. Is that double bottom already confirmed?
I don't know. I don't normally drill down the 4 hours for charts.
Well, I'm asking
I don't think it is.
I think the W is already confirmed.
Oh yeah, look at that. So you got it right here. Confirmation.
You can change it to a line chart. You'll probably see it a little easier.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it pretty easily there.
Well, there's a bigger W that confirmed there as well. So
This
anyway, the
W right
person
here,
that
this
was
one
asking
confirmed to
that
you?
question, change it to a line chart, and you'll see it.
Okay, I pay attention to the wicks, but let me see. Okay, so yeah, if it doesn't include the wicks, then
So
yeah,
there's no
confirmed.
reason why you can't let the W come in, and then you want to draw your reload zones. I know Julian doesn't use that, but probably if you did Keltner channel off of like a lower time frame, you'll probably see the same thing. And you can see the price gap there. Look at that cute little gap.
Yeah.
So I think what I heard from Julian here, which I liked, was, look, and I'm getting a lot of reasons to get bullish here. And of course, one of the key things that we like to teach in the education program is use something like an RSI as an indicator to try and tell you that, hey, this asset is actually much stronger than what price itself is leading you to believe. So, what I heard from Julian was, hey, this thing's right down the bottom end of its range. The indicators are saying that this is much stronger than what price is leading you to believe. Looks like there's a W coming in here. I'm starting to get a bunch of reasons to justify me acting in the market. That's really what we're trying to teach you here, guys. All right, sorry for the interruption.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, next thing I always like to talk about is gold. I haven't taken any trades in gold for the past couple of days. The market's been kind of stagnant, as you can see, since most of November. It's been kind of like this is November 12th back here, and here we're at November 28th. Like, look at this. It basically did nothing for 2 weeks. So I haven't really done much with gold, which was nice. It was kind of a stress-free time in Taiwan. But speaking of W's, look at this here. Look at that. This is possible W reversal area. But look at my RSI downtrend line. We haven't broken out. So I can't take a trade. And I don't want to take a short either because the RSI is pretty oversold in my opinion. And we're creating on the histogram a bit of a divergence. If I drill down to the 4-hour, you can see here, I could draw like a trend line kind of like that, where, let me get rid of these. This is how I would have my trend lines. I know they don't look perfect, but it's pretty close. I could do it. No, I would want to stick with this. And you can see we're kind of coming to a point, and it's got to break one way or the other. But I really hate this kind of stuff where I can't take a trade here because it's just the daily is too oversold, in my opinion, for me to take a short and feel really good about it. I don't like when the RSI on the daily gets to be this far down. And it's starting to make it's kind of like making it where it's possible it might be making a W. So that's the issue I kind of have with taking a short here. And I've also got huge Keltner channel support. So that's the other thing. Wait a second. What happened to my TD mark indicators? Ooh. Why? Hold on, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna use this one. Sorry about that, guys. I just don't understand what happened to my. Okay, there we go. They're back. So you can see we got Keltner channel support too. There's too many the point is there's too many conflicting signals for me. I want to hunt longs. I really do. I think gold is getting ready to bottom, and we're gonna move higher now. I closed all of my shorts before. I'm pretty happy with the profits I've made. The portfolio's up almost 150% at this point. It's a gold and Bitcoin trading portfolio I'm running. I think this is likely the bottom for gold, but I don't have a trade yet, and that's the key. I can't go off what I think is happening. I've got to go off what my trading plan says. And right now, my trading plan says, okay, well, you can't do anything. You got to just wait, sit on your hands. Okay, so that's my thoughts on gold. Thai baht, really quick. Let's see what's happening. This will probably just annoy me immensely because I paid my rent the other day and it was like the most expensive ever. Weekly chart. So we're still doing this kind of like bottoming thing. I think it's interesting. We made a 7 in here and it stopped. Should have had an 8 and a 9, I think. I mean, it didn't really make any kind of highs or anything like that. So that's odd. But you can see it's just sitting down here and continuing to, it broke out of the downtrend. So I'm hoping there will be some type of rally. I'm waiting. I think we could at least get to the bottom of my Keltner channel, which is around 31. So we'll see what happens there with Thai baht. Anything else I want to talk about as far as stock market and currencies and metals? Did I miss anything, Brian? I don't think so.
No, let's see. You like to do your Beyond Meat, and actually, it might be interesting. All level 3ers. Why don't we have a challenge for class tomorrow? Everybody find out whether Beyond Meat is a valid TRISOF right now. I got a funny feeling it is. We
Okay.
You also like to look at I don't know.
Well, we've only got
do you watch
15 minutes
GE
left, so I think we
anymore?
should get into crypto.
Oh yeah, sure, cool, go for it.
Yeah.
You were
Okay,
asking me.
so
Sorry, don't ever ask me an open-ended question. I might be here 10, 20 minutes from now still answering.
it's okay. It's okay. I know you well enough. I think I can interrupt you now.
Okay.
Okay, so Bitcoin. So here's the big thing, guys. This is big. Like I said at the beginning, I closed my short for Bitcoin. I was holding it since we were up here at around, I think I got in at 9,700. It was right when we did this like spike up. It might have been this spike. One of the two. I got in short. I was like, damn, Bitcoin's, no, this is my short opportunity. And that's when I shorted. I think part of it was the Keltner channel and stuff. Anyway, so I rode this downtrend, and then I saw this breakthrough, and I'm like, whoa, okay, I got to get out. So then I got out here on this candle right here. When we retraced back down, I got out at 7,000. And now one of two things is going to happen. And I really hope it's not this first one. The first one is it's just going to go like that. And we're just going to go like this. And we're going to get a pause here at 8,300. And we might do something like this and then move higher. That's the first thing that can happen. The second one is we might get a pause here or somewhere around here, somewhere before 8,000. And then we're going to roll over. And we're not going to make a new low on the RSI or price, but we will hit back to the lows. And then we're going to move higher. So one of those two things are going to happen. I do think that this is potentially the bottom for Bitcoin. And I think it's interesting. It lined up with this downtrend line that started, you were able to draw it back from August. So it's from the highs in June and August, and then it like hit the bottom of the downtrend line. I think it's interesting. So one of these two things is going to happen. I'm really hoping it's the second one, but I have a bad feeling it's going to be the first one. And this is exactly why I have not taken a trade yet in the Bybit competition, because I don't know which one is potentially going to happen. That's why I kind of got to drill down the lower time frames. I've got the 4 hour here already. Let's exit that. Yeah, but Kevin, I understand that, but the problem with that is like, there's no W yet, and I don't know if it's going to happen, because sometimes it doesn't happen. It just goes straight up. There's no W. So that's my concern. So that's why I'm looking at something like the 4 hour, and I'm watching to see if we can get a breakdown here. So right now on the 4 hour, it's bullish. But you can see how it came right up to my trend line again, and it stopped it around the trend line. It didn't touch it, but it stopped it around the trend line. And my RSI OBV has been bullish. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm not going to say what I think's going to happen. I'm going to say there's two possibilities. And you can keep going down to lower and lower time frames and try to nitpick or try to guess what you think is going to happen. But at the end of the day, it's hard to predict it. Like on this 1 hour chart, I can say, okay, even on this 1 hour, I have no idea. Right now, all I know is it's bullish. And it could possibly go higher, but it might not, because it's a 1 hour time frame, which for me at least, 1 hour time frame doesn't give me the most accurate signals. I'm getting conflicting stuff. RSI is bullish, RSI OBV is bearish. The histogram doesn't tell me anything. So, I'm not sure. Yeah, I know, but I don't really pay attention to that too much. You can see how we hit a 9 here and we stopped, and now it's just in no man's land. So my point is, I don't have a trade. I could force myself to take a trade, and it would probably be on the long side. Like, for example, if I really wanted to force myself, I would set a tight stop here and then I would shoot for a target to these previous lows here, which would be 7,995 or something. Right here, around here, no, I want to go a little bit lower than that. 7,990, something like that, which, it gives me, I think, a pretty good profit loss ratio. 14 risk to reward ratio. I mean, that's not, let me bring this down a little bit. This is probably might run my stops. Something like that, an 8 risk to reward ratio. And that's simply because the RSI on most of the time frames, except for the daily, is bullish. But the daily is bearish. And daily is number one to me. That's the most important time frame. So I don't have a trade. You can tell I'm like frustrated because this competition's going on, and I wanna win. I want to get in a trade, but I can't break my rules per se. I don't want to. So that's kind of my thinking on Bitcoin. Let's look at. Well, this is a 15-minute chart. So again, it's still bullish. Let's go to the weekly really quick. I just want to look at it. Get rid of some of these lines for you guys. So for me, on the weekly, I mean, there isn't even a potential cross there, or I could draw it like this, and then it just still says, okay, we're bearish. I mean, as long as this weekly is below the 50% level, it is semi-bearish to me. But I do think there's a potential divergence being put in here. It just needs to confirm. So, yeah, that's my viewpoint on Bitcoin. I don't know if, Brian, you want to say anything? If you don't, then I'll just jump into I'll talk about NEO and XRP, and then I'll talk about the altcoin market in general.
I mean, I think I showed very briefly, but levels I'm watching at the moment are the dailies. We've got 13 EMA has stopped the bull here this morning. And as well, if you look at the profile, you can see that basically this is a profile here. And we basically got up to the top of value on this mini profile. And you can see what it's going to take is there's going to have to be a shitload of volume. If this is going to break out here, it's got to be on some serious buying. So this is what worries me right now about the bullish case is the 13 EMA is just sort of sitting on the market, and you can see how it's just flatlining. It's almost turning into a brick wall. If we can resolve above that, then I think we can jump up into like 30s. And of course, there's 38.2 of this entire range, which is sitting at about $8,000. And interesting too, if somebody had mentioned earlier, if we drill down to like lower time frames now, remember that that high there and the 13 EMA at 76 and change. Looking at the 4 hours, there is somebody had made reference to an inverted head and shoulders working. This is in essence the projection of that head and shoulders. We actually hit an AB equals CD objective overnight because this pullback didn't go all the way down as low as I wanted it to. It created this very violent quick move, and that was 127 where it stalled at. But, if the head and shoulders thesis, and that's sort of like the algorithm kind of thinking, if this is still working, and I don't see any reason why it shouldn't, then 1.618, 7,900, 200%, which would be that head and shoulders resolution, is 8241. There's a 200 SMA up on the 4 hours up there at 8,500. So, I don't see any reason why we can't explore here. The only question is off those higher time frames, right? Are we actually going to get this move on volume? And if we actually look at the volume pattern, you can see, and it's the holiday weekend, so that shouldn't surprise us. We've got both the bulls sort of quieting down, which is a little concerning. If we get a 4 hour bar that does less than 95 million here, then that'll actually be a volume impetus. Bulls are falling asleep. And I think that makes sense too, right? You can see OBV is kind of top end of the range here. What it needs is it needs a nice big punch out, big green bar that breaks this downtrend in volume. And that would fill in the profile up top if we got a big old buying bar here. I don't know whether that's going to come in or not. That's tough to say. As well, too, looking at that 4-hour chart, we had this bullish divergence that fired. And so now that bullish divergence is resolving itself. So what would a top look like? Probably Willie's got to get stupid there. So you can see he's minus 18.2. So that's there. And now what we'd ideally like to see is a nice bearish divergence, i.e. a push higher here, but the MACD not go to new highs. So until this actually finishes, it's awfully tough for me to make the bear argument at the moment. And, if we talk about things like moving average crosses, we got a big bullish cross here on the 4 hours, which of course means things like I want to be day trader. They're put back in the closet, so they're not doing anything now. And if we look at all of their perspectives, we got down on the dailies. There's that 13 EMA we talked about. If it can accept above there, there's 30 up top there. Actually, I beg your pardon. These are the institutional moving averages. Forget what I just said there. But there's 4-hour institutional moving average bull. So we got bear, bull. So as a result, day traders not doing anything there. So like 4 hours are pointing up, and no signs of divergence yet. Nobody's really fallen asleep just yet. If anything, it kind of looks like the bears could also fall asleep here. 1, 2, 3 lower highs. Do we get a bar less than, I guess, even anywhere in here? That one there you might even say the bears fell asleep here. So it's incumbent on the bears to actually wake up here. I don't think they are. And then if we look at the hourlies, it's so cool. Guys like Daniel were posting levels, and basically, like I said, I'm still trying to fill out this trading plan. I've thrown bot levels on here. There's that 127 level. I personally, I like the idea of hunting longs against this low here and this reload zone. The only question is how high do we go here on this move up here, right? There's that 38.2 off the higher time frames. And you notice, like Julian said, again, sort of some key lows there. That's probably where we're going to start seeing some resistance if we get any traction here. Only problem is this is awfully wide and the bottom came in pretty far away. But notice those moving averages now are support. So earlier this morning we were talking about potential ranges. And I looked at this and I was like, gee whiz, that's a hell of a lot of support in there. So then if we go down to like the lower time frame, and this is where I think the trade was this morning, is this is one hell of a fight here. Reload zones, candle bodies as trade location, 78.6s. There's Mountain Man. And look at the war that's going on here. So clearly you can see we're back up top end of the range. Now we're potentially cup and handling. And, if we resolve this level bullishly, there's that level off the 4 hours that I was just showing you, 76.34 here on this buy bit. You can now see that, the market couldn't get through the 13 EMA here on the first tag. And this is the process of the market saying, okay, well, are we a bull? And so it comes right up against here. It's consolidating, and you can literally see, I don't know, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but hopefully you can see the cup and handle that's forming here. So there's the cup, and here's your handle. And really, if we resolve up through the top, then, the bull's fully in charge there. And I find it fascinating that that's right off that bigger bot. What also I saw was really cool. This is where Daniel, totally awesome. This bigger bot has a problem, and that is that we never did get down to 33%. So, yes, it's there, but it's kind of cheating. And I even looked at this and I was like, and that's the number one reason why I'm sort of on pause right now is I couldn't wrap my head around this. But Daniel in the lounge said, well, this is the bot that I'm considering right now on that move up, taking this low up to this high, 33.66. So we did that. 1, 2, 3 lows. And notice that bot level is 75.48. And I thought it was really interesting how the market ran up, came right back, kissed his level, and then went back up top. So quite literally, you can see the bull is trying to drive from this level. The bear against a reload zone is here, and the war is on. And frankly speaking, I don't know who's going to win the war. But clearly, if we resolve up through the top, 76.50 we'll call it, 76.60 kind of idea, you'll know the bull won. If we M out here, then I think the bear could potentially take over. And this is where it gets a little dangerous. Because if the bear does take over here, that would be an inside bar. But what I'm worried about, like I said, this original trade location, is if the bear does take over here and we crap out, then my hunch is we got to come right back down and fill in this area down in here. So really, really interesting battle zone, and really you got to build your plan. So, pick your battle lines. If you think we're a bull and we're going to resolve up through this 13 EMA, up into 38.2s, 200 SMAs off of things like the daily charts, which I think it's doable. Then you want to try and get yourself long off of things like bots here or bots here kind of idea. And conversely, if you think this trend is weakening and we're still stuck in a range and the 13 EMA will just be too much resistance, then my hunch is we got to come right back down into things like reload zones. Notice how this tail here, its low is right against there, and that low. So we got that low, 78.6. So if we do crap out here, I'll be looking for a move against value low here around 6,800. So there you go, folks. That's sort of what I'm seeing. Julian, you still here, or did we lose you?
I fell asleep.
That makes sense. Most people fall asleep when I'm
No,
talking.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Did you want
I'm trying to. You know what I was trying to do while you were doing that talking. I can't figure out how to fix this chart. I want to expand this chart, but
Where are you?
Oh, here we go. Okay, so I got it.
All right, good. Well,
So this is
glad
my.
I solved the problem there for you.
Thank you so much. So as everybody knows, this is let me explain it. So this is the overall crypto market chart, where here we have the crypto market. So this is Bittrex, this is Binance, and then we've got the Schultz, and as line charts, and this is kind of what they look like. Look at that big Schultz dip. There's dips in all of them though. They're all kind of the same, and you can see how the RSI broke down too. And then we've had our rebound. And let's go to a weekly. I want to look at this in the weekly. To me, the weekly is still in a downtrend. I want to see it break out of this downtrend. This is my expectation here. Nothing's really changed. If I go back to the daily, yeah, nothing's really changed here. We still broke down. We've got a bit of a rebound that's happened, but I expect us to break down more and then maybe move higher again. We'll see. And then we might hit that wall and then break down more. I don't see anything good coming out of alts. Nothing looks good here. I did want to look at two individual ones, NEO and XRP. So I thought I would, we are kind of running out of time here, but I thought I would at least try to look at NEO. Here was our uptrend line, and it broke down from that uptrend line, but then here's our downtrend line. And boom, it broke out from that downtrend line. So where are we now? 4-hour chart. We've got another uptrend line that's formed. Here's our downtrend. And then we can here's our uptrend. But it looks like it's going to break down from that uptrend. And we might head lower. So, not yet, but it looks like it's starting to happen. So I don't expect anything bullish from NEO. I think XRP is kind of going to look similar, which it does basically. Here's the general all it's going to take is this breaking down, and then XRP is going to roll over. Let's check the daily for it really quick. Yeah, you can see we just broke out of the downtrend. It's the same as Bitcoin. It's the same, but we're still in bear territory on the daily. It's crazy. All these altcoins are going to look just like Bitcoin. It's so crazy. It all looks the same. They all broke out of this downtrend that they've been in for the past month and a half, and now we're breaking out, meaning we're going to form a bottom. But I think just like Bitcoin, we're going to have to retrace a bit. We're gonna do this retracement. I mean, we might go straight up and hit the Keltner channel here, but I expect them. I think the more likely case is we're going to retrace. So for in XRP's case, it's going to be around 0.21. Right now we're at 0.228, and we'll go to 0.213 maybe, somewhere around there.
I think you can trade XRP in this competition. It's not fun trading XRP.
Well, I have. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I could. I don't know. I got to read the rules. I thought maybe it was only Bitcoin. Yeah, It's only Bitcoin. Colin just said it's only Bitcoin.
Okay, silly me, sorry.
Yeah, that would be cool if it was the other ones, but why complicate it? They probably want to keep it simple. So you can see on like the 1 hour, it hasn't broken down yet. It's still technically kind of bullish, but I think a breakdown is coming. So everything lines up from my perspective. That's kind of what I'm seeing from NEO and XRP, which kind of lines up with what I'm seeing in the overall crypto market and even Bitcoin itself. So just to do a general summary, what for Bitcoin, we can either go up higher. Wait, let me go to the daily, or maybe I can go to this chart. No, daily. Can you go to this one? I'm all over the place here. Okay, so for Bitcoin, it's bullish on the 4 hour, bearish on the daily, but it did break out of the bearish downtrend. So we've got one or two things that can happen. We can move higher here and maybe hit the top of the Keltner and then head back down to retrace a bit, or we can retrace now, head back down to like 6,800 and then move higher. I'm not sure which one is going to happen. I'm erring on the side of the second one happening. And again, this is just to summarize what my thoughts are. And I think this applies to the whole crypto market. I think most of the coins are going to do what Bitcoin does, and just follow along. That's it. That's all I've got. Any last words from you, Brian?
I mean, it's well past the top of the hour. I will say there are I definitely think this is a coin picker's market. I got to put the right screen on here, though. Hold on a second. Let's see, where are we over here? And damn you, Daniel. Damn you and your bot levels. I'm kicking myself for not taking that trade now. Well, what can you do? But I could definitely see Daniel's going to do really, really well here. So, the only thing I would say is, if you are playing altcoins, keep it, there are bright spots, right? Check out this guy. Something about weekly W's. Why is this guy moving up so aggressively with Bitcoin moving up? That's not supposed to happen. So, there.
Well, that can happen sometimes. It can with some like individual shaltcoins.
Sure.
I'm talking about like the
Maybe
major
these
coins.
guys are the next Bitcoin. You never know in this crazy game. So the point here is that I think there are opportunities out there. It's just, you just got to build your plan, follow your plan. I totally agree with you. Like the major coins. And if you want to, like I often say this to people, on these, free videos and stuff that we do for YouTube, you want to make it really, really simple for you. Just concentrate on coins that are actually showing things like weekly W's. And if you look at the broader crypto market, a lot of these names are breaking the new lows. So your XRP there, for example, I couldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Dash, same thing. But there are some, like this Tron, Justin Sun, is trying desperately to make him his existence justifiable. This XLM looks really interesting down here. Watch him. But the ones that have broken the new lows, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough slog. And, the overriding message, like Julian was saying there, is, hey, wait a minute. this isn't really overly bullish. Be careful here, okay? Be careful. All right. Shall we leave it at that for today? Thank you very much for your report, Julian. Awesome stuff. Head on to bed. I will see you later on to your tomorrow, my later on evening. And I think Kevin and I need to go off and do a daily brief recap. So have yourselves a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for your participation, Julian. Great stuff as always. The only thing left for us to say at this point is bye for now. And if you are on the team, good luck in your trading.
Bye, everybody.